Detroit, what up, though? Coming with y'all, coming to y'all with a instant reaction to the draft. Y'all know it was hosted right here in the D. We showed out, broke the record capacity crowd, over 275,000 down there at Campus Martius. It looked real beautiful. I was reading some of the comments and everything from people outside of the city. I don't know how we got this reputation that there's nothing to do in Detroit. It's kind of crazy to me. Like y'all realize we are a city on the water, 3 casinos, we border Canada. It's like I don't know what it is y'all think y'all can do everywhere else that you can't do in Detroit. It's like for the people that ain't never been here, talk about it's nothing to do in Detroit. That's why we was able to break the record. It makes no sense to me. One thing we do need to do is extend our club hours. Bump up that tourism, but outside of that, you pretty much do everything here. But anyway, we're gonna jump right into it. We're gonna start with the Detroit pick. Lions trade up from the 29th pick to 24 to take Terrion Arnold. Good dog ass cornerback from Alabama. We know how Brad Holmes and them do. We for whatever reason we love the Bama boys, and they've been good to us. So just keep picking them. It goes to secure our future at defensive back. Give us some more depth, some more talent, young talent. Good cheap contracts. Get them at the end of the first round. 5th-year option. All good things. Like we all knew going into the draft that with that first round pick, it was 3 positions we was going to target based on who was available, and it was going to be offensive lineman, defensive back, or potentially an edge rusher. So we go and get the defensive back. Everyone's aware of what happened with the Cam Sutton situation that kind of set us back. So 2 years in a row, we pretty much had to attack our secondary to build it up. Had some setbacks last year. Hopefully everything gelled this year. Aaron Glenn, you get the DBs that you need back there, and we're going to make it do what it do this year. So, shouts out to Brad Holmes. He does his thing. We did have to give up a 3rd-round pick in order to move up, but, I mean, if they felt like that was the piece we needed, y'all know the mantra, in Brad we trust. That's how we going with it. Anything else I got to say about this pick? No, not really. Not really. I just want to touch on the Detroit atmosphere real quick with the draft. The crowd was amazing. The energy and love from everyone from the city, the area that went on stage, turned up a little bit. The presentation, it was just a good vibe. We Detroit, we know how it goes, so I don't really got to speak on it too much, but I did appreciate seeing it. We put on for the city. Yeah. Hopefully the next time we bring it on right back here next year for a Super Bowl parade. I know the draft is supposed to be in Green Bay. I'm not going to hate on Green Bay or anywhere else for a draft party or draft presentation like people was hating on Detroit. I would just leave that alone. I ain't never been to Green Bay. I ain't got nothing to say about Green Bay. I don't know nothing about Green Bay. It just seems to sit in the middle of nowhere. But I'm sure they're gonna pull out the red carpet and put on a good presentation, good show like we just did. Hopefully we follow it up strong. Day 2, day 3, continue to break the attendance record. And we go from there. But back to the draft. Quick draft. I'm not going to spend too much time on these picks. Try to make it through them. Talk a little bit about some of the surprises that I saw. But the first 5 picks or so was nothing that surprised any of us. You got Caleb Williams going number 1 to the Bears. Jaden Daniels, number 2 to Washington. A good pickup for them. Drake May goes to New England. New England and they white quarterbacks. whatever. Because y'all had options there. But do y'all thing. I wouldn't be saying that had y'all taken my boy J.J. McCarthy. But not that Drake May is bad, but every single year they hype up these quarterbacks every year, and they're never really, one or two of them is ever anything. And y'all continue to take them high in the draft pick. Whatever. Marvin Harrison Jr. goes number 4 to Arizona. Get Kyler Murray another offensive weapon over there. I don't know if that really improves their team that much. It's not like he hasn't had dominant number 1 receivers before, but when he did have it, that was an explosive offense. The year the Rams went to the Super Bowl, they was leading the NFC West with like a 7-1 record until they kind of fell off. Los Angeles Chargers, they take the first offensive tackle, Joe Alt, Notre Dame. We all know how Jim Harbaugh builds his team. He's going to build it in the trenches. That took no one by surprise. We all knew he was going offensive line. He's going to run the ball. He's going to protect his quarterback. That's going to allow Justin Herbert to only be special in moments. So far in his career, I see the tool set with Justin Herbert, but he hasn't impressed me with his actual play. Maybe it's because the offense was asking him to do too much. But it's not about his talent. It's about, like, he doesn't win. Like, I don't care how talented you are. I guess I'm contradicting myself because I will always speak to how talented Matthew Stafford was, even though we didn't win. But I knew how inept our organization was at drafting and building the team. So, but yeah, under Jim Harbaugh, I think the Los Angeles Chargers will get back on track. All the talent that they didn't had on that team, they have definitely underperformed. All right, New York Giants take the second wide receiver, not the first. Malik Neighbors. Anyone who has been aware of New York Giants wide receiving woes the last 2 years knew this is the direction they were going to go when they were in a position to get a very, very talented wide receiver. The only problem is it's still Daniel Jones throwing to him, and he does not have Saquon Barkley to take the attention of the defense away now. So they paid that man that money, so better go ahead and earn it now with a big-time rookie wide receiver. Tennessee Titans take another tackle, J.C. Latham. We know Tennessee always going to want to play bully ball. No real surprise there. First surprise to me in the draft, the number 8 pick for the Atlanta Falcons. They take Michael Penix Jr. after they just signed Kirk Cousins to a nice little contract this offseason. Then I saw the reports and tweets and things afterwards that Kirk Cousins and his camp was caught completely off guard by that. Tough titty, bro. So what? I don't know why quarterbacks feel like they should always be made aware when a player at their position is getting drafted in the first round or whatever. Like, no one else gets that announcement. Like, Kirk, they are drafting your replacement, sir. You probably got 2 years there. They're gonna let Michael Penix get accustomed to the offense, and the moment you get injured, because you also coming off an Achilles injury, bro. Like, let's be for real. What if you not the same? They're gonna stick him in there and they're gonna keep it pushing and trade you away. That's the business. So stop all that fake crying. Chicago Bears take Rome Odunze, wide receiver out of Washington. Chicago trying to, on paper, they're making a lot of moves, trying to show themselves to be a real contender in the NFC North. I personally don't believe they are, but Caleb Williams, you could show me differently. I think it's a little too much to always expect rookie quarterbacks to come out the gate fantastic. I mean, I know it does happen. I know the rules is in their favor. The wide receivers are coming out of college ready to go, pretty much. So, I mean, they can be threatening. But what made Chicago so dangerous last year, especially when facing our team, was the legs of Justin Fields. And we do okay against regular quarterbacks. It was the run threat. So if you're not the type of quarterback to just take off, scramble 10, 20 yards, 50 yards to hurt us, then we probably going to contain you. So it might be some real long nights when Chicago played Detroit. Minnesota trades up to take J.J. McCarthy. I think everyone kind of saw this move coming, not necessarily to trade up per se, but knew that it was probably Minnesota taking J.J. McCarthy to be their quarterback of the foreseeable future. New York Jets take the tackle out of Penn State for Shanu. I'm not about to butcher that first name. I know it seems terrible for me to be black and always struggle with Nigerian names. It is what it is. It's what it is. Good move by the Jets. You got an older quarterback there that you're trying to keep healthy. First 4 plays of his season last year, he gets hurt. So yeah, draft his protection. That was one of the fears going into that year. Is like y'all couldn't protect Zach Wilson. Like now you stick old Aaron Rodgers in there who isn't as mobile. Like you're gonna get him hurt, and that's exactly what happened. No one anticipated it happening that early, but that's what happened. Denver Broncos take Bo Nix to be their quarterback. If I was them, I would have did something else. I would have tried to build the team around and suffer through another 3 to 6 win season and take another quarterback. I don't want the 5th, 6th best quarterback in any draft thinking it's going to be my franchise quarterback. No thank yous. Las Vegas Raiders take Brock Bowers, Georgia tight end. That's cool for them. Just replacing players that they lost, I guess. New Orleans Saints take a tackle, Talise Fuaga, Oregon State. Yeah, good pickup for them. I will never really talk trash about offensive linemen, especially when you're taking them in the first round, unless it's just someone that's really, really trash. I'm a firm believer that football is won and lost in the trenches, so you never really go wrong getting the big boys. So a good pickup by them. Indianapolis Colts taking the edge out of UCLA. Latu. That's the 15th pick. 16th pick. Seattle Hawks take Byron Murphy. Texas defensive tackle. Good pickup for them. Seattle is trying to build up another Legion of Boom. They've been investing heavily into that defense. We'll see if the offense can keep up. Minnesota Vikings trade up to the 17th spot. Got that from the Jacksonville Jaguars to take Dallas Turner, Alabama edge. They was actually expecting him to go off the board a little bit earlier than this, but this is where he fell. This is Minnesota just replacing pieces that they lost. They lost Danielle Hunter in the offseason. They draft this replacement. So I don't think it's a plus or minus for the team. It doesn't make them better or worse. It's just a replacement. And we'll see if he's even in the same caliber of a Danielle Hunter. Cincinnati Bengals continuing to beef up that offensive line. They take offensive tackle out of Georgia, Amarius Mims. Good move by them. Continue to protect Joe Burrow. He has been injured way more than he should have in the earliest parts of his career. Mainly because they got a trash O-line, so continue to try to protect him. Los Angeles Rams with the 19th pick. Take an edge rusher out of Florida State, Jared Verse. I think the Rams draft as well as anybody. They hadn't had a first round pick in years, and they've still been able to field a very solid quality team, even after losing some of their bought players, so to speak. So we will see. I almost thought they were going to go defensive tackle here to replace Aaron Donald. I know the Aaron Donald replacement is already on the team, but you always want to have a 1-2 punch there in the middle with your defensive tackles. So we'll see how that goes for them this year. Not like they can't get a starting caliber defensive tackle in a second, but we'll see. Pittsburgh Steelers take an offensive tackle, Troy Fontano, out of Washington. I think Pittsburgh just want to get back to being able to run the ball, win it how they want. Najee Harris hasn't looked the same, and is it the line or is it him? They're going to have to try to figure that one out. Miami Dolphins with the 21st pick. Take Chop Robinson out of Penn State, edge rusher. Good pickup for Miami. We already know they got a high caliber offense. They had a very good defense. It's just like the team just kind of fell apart in the second half of the year, and they don't play well outside in the cold for whatever reason. That's traditionally that's been Miami teams. So, I don't know what to say about that one, but. Well, Philadelphia Eagles with the 22nd pick take Quinyon Mitchell, cornerback out of Toledo. Jacksonville Jaguars trade up to take Brian Thomas. Not trade up. This is after their 17th pick got traded, so this is where they ended up at. They take a wide receiver out of LSU, Brian Thomas Jr. The Lions trade up to take Terrion Arnold. Already spoke on that. Green Bay take offensive tackle Jordan Morgan. Just good move for them. Go ahead and continue to try to protect and invest in Jordan Love. I always feel like if you're going to have a young quarterback, make sure you protect him. Build the O-line around him first. Even if your weapons are a little subpar, if you got a strong O-line, you can run the ball, and eventually your wide receivers get open. Like, DBs aren't going to be able to clamp them on every route. Tampa Bay with the 26th pick, take the center out of Duke, Graham Barton. I really don't have no thoughts on this pick. I always thought the Buccaneers had a good, solid O-line. They could run the ball solidly enough. So I don't really know how this truly impacts the team. I wanted to lie to y'all and pretend. So we're going to keep it pushing there. But again, like I said earlier, I'll never hate on picking the big guys. Always makes your team better. Arizona Cardinals with their second pick here in the first round take Darius Robinson, Missouri defensive end. And I believe this was the last person sitting in the green room here in Detroit. So it's good that we didn't have the same situation last year that we had with Brian Branch, our pick, where he had to come back on day 2. As the only person who came back on day 2. It was actually 3 or 4 guys who was here on day 1 that didn't get picked. But they was some hoes, and they went home the next day, all in their feelings. But Brian Branch was a real one. And he came back the next day, walked across that stage, and came to Detroit. Kansas City traded with Buffalo. They take Xavier Worthy out of Texas. Fastest wide receiver in the draft, fastest player in the draft. 4.21 speed. So I don't know how in the hell y'all decided to give Patrick Mahomes another Tyreek Hill. Maybe not with the quick speed, but y'all for sure gave it to him when it comes to just stretching the field, period. That's very dangerous, and we might see that man in the Super Bowl again next year. terrible. Like somebody should have tried to stop that. The Dallas Cowboys take a tackle Tyler Guyton. We could see this one coming from a long ways away. They needed to go ahead and replace their tackle. So, yeah, it's a pick that makes sense for them. Cowboys should reinvest in their offensive line and get back to what made them a strong team in the past. I mean, it made them a strong team, but they still ain't been in no NFC championships this millennium. So, but I feel like Dak Prescott was at his best when they have a strong run game. I think that's the case with most quarterbacks, but some can overcome it and put the team on their shoulders week in and week out. But Dak is not one. Baltimore Ravens with the 30th pick take a cornerback out of Clemson, Nate Wiggins. I suppose it's a good pickup for them. I honestly thought they were going to take a receiver here, but they maybe take one in the second round or so. San Fran, with the 31st pick, take a wide receiver out of Florida, Ricky Pearsall. I don't know. I saw it. Like, is this really just a replacement for Brandon Ayuk with the drama that they suspect or have been reporting is going on there? Because see, if we see any movement there in the next couple of days or during the offseason, then this pick makes sense to me. But if we don't, then I don't know why they drafted here. If I was them, like no running backs was taken in the first round. No safeties and no off-ball linebackers. So I just feel like with the age of the stars on San Fran at certain spots, I would have went a different route. But this is what they chose to do. They have fielded a good team year after year after year, so I won't really question them. I just really did something a little bit different. And Carolina Panthers, they moved back into the first round after losing their first round pick to Chicago. And they take Xavier Legette, South Carolina wide receiver. You want to give Bryce Young as many options and weapons as possible, but I think their main thing is they need to go ahead and with him being an undersized quarterback, you need to make sure he has enough time to pass the ball. So that's that. All right, it's 12:35 at the moment. Just wanted to give y'all a quick draft recap. My phone dying. Everything is going dead. All right, so I'm out. I'll holler at y'all tomorrow to do a recap of day 2, rounds 2 and 3. But y'all know the vibes. Y'all know the mantra. Detroit just win, baby.